Hi guys, and welcome to this week's reading vlog when we're gonna sit down together and lock in and read the entire Heartstopper series in one go, literally, because I want to go ahead and watch the show obviously, but also the new adaptation that's coming out this week. And I figured there's no better time to do it because you always have to read the book first before watching its adaptation, and it's just gonna be the best time ever because that series, I've been looking forward to read it for like so long now, literally years, that it's finally time. Let's just jump right in. I have the books ready to go and it's time. So for context, I have figured that there are 6 full-length novels in the graphic novel series, but also you've got 10 total in the world, so like 4 other extra content sort of books that I've got all downloaded onto my Kindle, because I figured if I like one of the books, I would like to at least go and read more content exclusive of the characters. And my plan essentially is to read all of these books in one go, and then at some point in the future I'll start like watching the show as well, and hopefully it'll be the experience that I'm praying it is, because in my head it's a 5-star prediction, and if that turns out to be true, then at least the whole series I would like to take my time with it, kind of enjoy every last minute, and then also get to watch the show later because it's coming out. It's gonna be such a fun time. All my friends have seen the show, not necessarily read the book, so it'll be fun to like discuss as well for like my non-bookish audience. But at the same time, listen, I'm here for the books first and foremost, which is why those are reading vlog plans for today. I'll just start directly with the first one now. See y'all in a bit once I have updates to give you, and just look forward to the best reading week ever, because like they're graphic novels. How long can it take to read one? Which is why I know I'll be binging through it regardless. And now finally we'll see my thoughts on the series and how I feel about it after seeing it literally floating about the internet for years now and getting so much hype. That let's just see how I feel about it. Hopefully it'll be the best experience ever, and let's just jump right in. So I sat down and in literally half an hour was able to binge and finish book 1. And the thing is, I did want to start it early because I didn't have a lot to do yesterday after editing and posting yesterday's video, which is why I figured, okay, I'll just read a few pages. I managed to binge like, I don't know, 25% or something in literally 10 minutes. So it was insane, very fun to read about. But also then I decided, I'll put it down, save it so I can get back to it today after college. And genuinely, I had the best day ever because like I had an incredible day at college. One of my best friends is now my assistant professor. What in the world? And then now I came back home, I decided, okay, I want to pick up my book back up, finish the rest of it, absolutely binged it, and it ends on the biggest cliffhanger. So now I can't wait to get into the next one. But I'll give you a quick premise for this and quick thoughts before I get back to it, because after that I did end up napping for a bit. I only had like a couple hours of sleep yesterday in the night, which is not good for me, but I wasn't able to fall asleep because my schedule is so bad that I don't get sleep until late in the night, to the point where I was catching up on a bit of napping right now. I think I'm all good to go after I get all my stuff ready for tomorrow's college and to continue the next book, because it was genuinely so good. I had the best time ever. I've been waiting to read the series for a while now, and a couple weeks ago I sat down and went ahead and downloaded all of them onto my Kindle Scribe, so I have like the best experience of reading them at the same time. And here we are. For a quick premise of the first book, we essentially follow Charlie and Nick. They go to the same all-boys school, and Charlie is openly gay. Nick is the guy he's been seated next to in class, and slowly they start talking, a friendship starts blooming. And then from there, Nick is actually on the rugby team, so he asks Charlie to come give it a try and join because they're short a player. So he joins that team. They're starting to hang out. They're starting to realize that they are literally their truest selves around each other, and so they're wondering now, with along that friendship and whatnot, if there's room for more. And then amongst all of that as well, the previous year Charlie was bullied extremely hard, and so now he's found Nick, who he's able to like confide in and speak to about how he felt isolated and lonely and all the kind of shit he went through. And Nick is there to support him, and they are finding each other and whatnot, that they're there for each other in like different ways that no one else has ever been. And so could it lead to something more? And finally it culminates in the ending of the book, which is insane. Like I need to read the next one, okay? If I wasn't like absolutely falling asleep, not because of the book, because I was literally genuinely tired because of how hectic my day at college has been and then all the work stuff, I promise you I would have continued reading just to see where the next one would go. But because of that, I had to take my little break. But I'm fully energized now to see it. This one I'm giving 4 stars. Simply amazing. But now I can't wait to read the next one, because the way we have room for so much more, and I have so many questions I need answered, and I want so many more scenes of them. All I'm saying is never consider not reading the series. Do not deprive yourself of this. Just the experience of watching these two fall for each other. Like, I just know that my life's never going to be the same again in the best way possible, and I loved it so much, more than I thought I would, and I just feel so emotionally attached to these characters. And I only read about them in a graphic novel for like 30 minutes, but I love them so much. They're literally my children. I need them to be happy, I need them to be together and in love. And yeah, guys, Stupid Song by Olivia Rodrigo has been playing in my head non-stop, and while I'm reading it, it's just so perfect for them that I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see where the story goes. I will binge and see and continue hopefully and pray for their happy ending. And yeah, but let's catch up a little bit before I start the show as well. All I'm saying is it was incredible. I just had such an amazing time. It is so worth the hype because I've never read graphic novels. I've only read like children's books, the comic-y ones. So this feels like a perfect foray into like journaling into that sort of world as well. We shall see if I end up getting to more, but I just know that this series regardless is going to hold a great place in my heart because it's amazing. The start is just so incredible, starting off this whole series into the world, and now I can't wait to see what happens next. And yeah, I'm gonna go keep reading now. I can't wait to see how I end up enjoying the rest of them because already I'm just shaking with how much I love the first one. And that's my update for right now. I'm gonna get back to it, and that's it. Bye. So it's now Wednesday. I completely skipped an update yesterday because I was a bit busy with college. But after that, afterwards in the evening, nightish time, when I sat in and I, literally locked in, I managed to finish two of the next books we have in the series. So book 2 and book 3, which is why we'll speak about that now. And then today isn't as busy of a day because I managed to get everything that I needed done for like notes in college done yesterday, which means hopefully we'll finish another couple books today. I don't really know, but all I want to know is how the story continues because I'm just so obsessed with it that I need to keep seeing it through, which is why hopefully this evening we'll lock in and get some decent progress in. But for now, to update you, book 2, we essentially follow Nick, who's now starting to discover more things about himself, and they're discovering and navigating their new relationship together because they obviously feel so much for each other and they're trying to figure out what comes next in that aspect. And then book 3 is actually following them on this school trip to Paris, and them finally starting to tell other people about their relationship and stuff. And all I'll say is these two are so precious to me. I don't know how the author did it because these are literally just graphic novels and they go by so fast, but I would literally die for these characters. I love them so much. Nick and Charlie, they are my children, alright. I'm just so obsessed. Every time I'm reading it, I have this like fat smile plastered on my face that just won't come off because it's just such an amazing series. It isn't 5-star necessarily any book specifically, but the whole series is a 5-star. Like when I read The Naturals, no book specifically was 5, but then the actual series as a whole, I just feel so much for it, and I feel like getting that feeling again in a series is just so fun, especially when it hits, because I knew it would be like a 5-star prediction for me, and already I'm just so happy I'm reading this. I can't believe it took so long, and now after I'm done with the books, I can't wait to jump into the movies because I've heard they're really good the way they're adapted, and I just can't wait to see it through because honestly it's just so amazing. These two, they deserve the whole world and more, and it hurts me how cruel some of the people are in the world, how they speak to them and how they're behaving and stuff, because everyone deserves love, and just some aspects of those really piss me off, but I feel like the way it's made realistic also makes sense, the kind of challenges they have to go through to fight for that love. But still, the two of them as a couple, the two of them as individual characters, it's so well developed. It doesn't even feel like a graphic novel series, the way the author's just gone so high in and done such an amazing job on it, which is why overall I'm having the best time. The second book, it did slow down in the middle parts because the ending of the first one, insane. I needed to start it, and the beginning of this was great. The end of this was also great. The middle is just, it got a little bit slow and not as great as the first one, which is why I gave it 3.5 stars. And the next one after that, the third one, it picked back up. I had an amazing time, so that's one's again like a 4 and whatnot. But regardless, again, it's not really about the ratings because I'm already having such an amazing time. And maybe one day when I start figuring out like a rating system in graphic novels, because it's like one of the first times I'm reading them, then maybe I'll come back and want to change my ratings on these. But overall, yeah, otherwise I'm still having such an amazing time, and these books, they just mean so much to me that I can't wait to see how The movies, they affect me when I get to them, because honestly, this is my everything. This is my Roman Empire at the moment. I'm begging everyone I know who hasn't already read the books to read it, because mostly everyone's like watch the movies, and I understand that, you know, that'll probably appeal to like a non-bookish audience. But if you read books, it's such a must to like get to this and feel that experience before you get in the movies. And yeah, all I'm saying is I'm an advocate for that at this point. Now I can't wait to get into the next one, see their story through, see what happens next, because I still have quite a few of them downloaded on Kindle, the rest of the series, and I saw that there are a couple more extra books in their perspectives and stuff that I'd love to read and get more about them and whatnot, because I love them so much. Which is why, again, we'll just have to see how much longer it takes getting through with it. But I don't even care. I could read like 1,000 books in their perspectives and never get bored, because it's just that amazing. And I can't imagine the amount of work the author has put into it, with each like graphic that she's drawn out, and just the way she's taken the story and given it this nice flow wherein it always just makes sense the way it's going, and you still feel all these great big emotions right off the bat because you're connected with the characters. Which is why, let's see what happens next in the story. I cannot wait. And that's my update right now. So I'm just gonna go get back to reading, because that's the only thing that's been on my mind for the past couple days, getting back to my Heartstopper books, and we'll see what happens next. All good things. Please pray for their happiness, because that's all I read right now. I'm gonna get to it now. See you all in a bit once I have my next updates, and that's it. Bye. I'm on book 4 now. So in literally one sitting since my last update, have not moved from here. I managed to get 2 more books done in the series, and so let's discuss. The first one I finished was volume 4, and in this, for like a quick premise, you follow the two of them as they start to realize that they're truly in love. And so, you know, they're trying to like confess and admit each other's feelings to each other, because like it's real, it's probably gonna be forever. But then those moments are balanced with something a bit more heavier. Check triggers if you're reading the story, as they're learning how to show up for each other in their hardest moments, and what love would truly mean in that sense and whatnot. Because there's something that, you know, Charlie's been going through along with the bullying and stuff, and you know, it's not necessarily something you'd want to be reading about, but at the same time, it's not like a light-hearted romance book. It's something heavy, and they're starting to like try to overcome that as a couple, because that's something he needs to acknowledge before he can just say that he's okay and healed. And I feel like the way it was done, the author is just so incredible. I loved and appreciated the balance between the two. I feel like I don't think I've ever read a full-length book that handles those topics as well as this graphic novel did, so that's saying a lot. And again, 4 stars. I had so much fun reading. Some moments were heavy, definitely, and you know, I definitely loved seeing their love throughout it all for each other, them showing up and being there. And I thought, you know, it was so precious, the two of them, and you know how wholesome the two of them are, and their love story, even their friend group, the way it was there and whatnot for them to like lie back on. I enjoyed that a lot, and I loved seeing also like the little different stories we had of the other characters and them falling for each other as well, because love is not specifically in like one straight form only. It comes in so many different shapes and sizes, and just the way it was portrayed was beautiful. It's just, again, if you're reading it, please check triggers, because while I have, you know, read the first 3 books in the series, I thought this was heavier than the others, and it's definitely something you need to think about before you just jump right in thinking it's like a fun, light-hearted story, because it is. It's just those other things, they are a bit heavier again, and I really like the way it was portrayed. Next one I read is actually supposed to be read halfway through the 4th one. So the first chapter happens of the book, and then you're supposed to read this one. It's called This Winter. It's a novella, and then you're supposed to finish that out. But essentially, because I wasn't like looking it up on Goodreads or anything, I read that the whole way through, gave it 4 stars, went to my Goodreads to check the order, and then I realized, oh wait, you're supposed to read that in the middle. So I figured whatever, I'll just like binge it in one go now, and that's what I did. And it's called This Winter, which is so funny because I'm reading like a, you know, novel set in winter, and it's still the dead of summer, because like the storms have stopped. It's all good weather again, which is why, you know, that's a little bit funny. But regardless, I wasn't gonna save this for Christmas or wait around to read it, because I wanted to see it through. And this one's actually a novella that follows all of the Spring siblings. So that's Charlie's family. We have his elder sister Victoria, we have Charlie, who's I think the middle child, and the younger brother Oliver, as they're all navigating this winter, this Christmas in their household, because that year has been especially hard on all of them as a family, with what Charlie's been going through, and you know, finally with the help that he's been getting for it. And you know, now they need to like obviously navigate amongst themselves and start to like heal amongst themselves, but also there's like outside judgments and opinions and stuff that comes with any part of life, which they also need to figure out how they're going to harden their skin against and be there for each other with what's going on as a family against. And then there's also scenes with Nick and stuff and how his relationship with Charlie kind of categorizes into that. And I thought it was very well written, don't get me wrong, that, you know, flows with the story. It's just I'm not really sure if it was kind of important to the story. Like, yeah, it gives you perspective and that's why it's a novella, but not my best like reading whatever, which is why I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars. Again, not too bad, but at the same time it's fine. I want the novellas, no, what is that, I want the graphic novels, those with Nick and Charlie, more than I would have wanted this. But I do appreciate it because it did give more emotional backstory, especially with the events that have been going on in the story. And now I do believe his sister Victoria has her own full-length book, which I would like to go back and read in the future as well, because honestly I just need more content of these characters and I'm getting it, which is why this was 3.5. And now moving along, today is Wednesday. I still have 5 books downloaded on my Kindle in the Word and whatnot that I'd like to read, 2 of which are the next novels in the series that kind of conclude the series for me. But the other 3, as I was like looking up stuff and whatnot, if there's like bonus material and content in the Word, I was able to find that I would also like to get done reading, because honestly I love them so much. I would just be so happy to see any snippet of them that I can eat up regardless. And the thing is, I have obviously tomorrow, Thursday and Friday ready for me, but Saturday I actually need to catch up on all the works, week editing and, you know, YouTube wise, but also like school wise, because Sunday I have other plans the entire day, which means I need to get this video done, because I know I have like a different video that I can post this week in case it doesn't happen. It's just I would really like to get this out this week in honor of the new movie coming out in a couple days as well, which I thought would be really fun, which is why I need to start bucking up. At the same time, if I finish like book 5 right now and then I read 2 books a day for the next couple days, I can definitely catch up, which is why it's not that long. You just need to lock in for like an hour or so and you can definitely binge them in a go, which is why that's what I'm doing right now. I will see you all once I have my next update, I think tomorrow now directly, because I'm not trying to finish the whole thing in a day, but at the same time I want some progress through it because I still want to see their story and what happens next. And yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I will update it a bit, and just know that I'm having such an incredible stellar time reading these books that if y'all have got recommendations for something similar, anything in the graphic novel sort of format or something wherein, you know, you have the sort of story that's very coming of age, high school, them falling in love, please give that to me. I'm loving this so much. I'm eating it up and I'd really enjoy some more recommendations because I don't really have anything to fall back on after I'm done with this, which is why that's it for now. I'm gonna go continue reading the books and I'll see you all in a bit once I have, again, hopefully more incredibly good things to say, because it's all good times right now. It's all good fun, which is why that's it. See you all in a bit and bye. When I hop in here to tell you that I feel like my entire life is being consumed by Heartstopper, and in a very good way, I mean it, because yesterday in the evening I came and said that, oh hey, I think I read like a couple books a day, let's see where the series goes with that. I'm nearly at the end. It's the very next afternoon and I don't know what to say. I don't want it to be over, but at the same time I need to see where it goes next. I have this like inner craving. My hand keeps like gravitating towards the Kindle. I don't even want to sit on my phone. I just want to go back to these books and kind of consume them and then hyperfixate over them because I'm having such an incredible time. But since the last time I did come in and speak to you, I did finish 3 more of the books that I have downloaded of the series in the overall series. So I figured we could speak about that before now I go and finally conclude it, because it feels weird. I don't know how to feel anymore. Like, what do you mean it'll be over after that? But then also I still have like the show and the movies or whatever it is to watch. So hopefully the adaptation will pull through, but until then, for now, college, it did end up starting a bit later in the morning, which means I was able to stay up later in the night yesterday, kind of read in, and then today it started late, but I ended up early because our lectures, they got like preponed and stuff, to the point where I got back home early. And the only thing I had on my mind was to run back to my Kindle and just see it through, because I didn't want to like waste it on my phone. I wanted to savor the experience on my scribe and, you know, take everything out of it, which is why at this point I finished Heartstopper Volume 5. This one came out a couple years ago and we'll speak about that first and the other 2. But basically in this we follow again Nick and Charlie, their relationship, and they're extremely serious about each other, but they have this like 1-year age gap between the 2 of them, to the point where Charlie's now going to be finishing his last year up in school and Nick is going off to uni. And the thing is, the place he likes, Leeds, it's kind of far from where their hometown is. It's about 4.5 hours, and it's not something they can do every single day. And so now, after hanging out for however long they've been together, literally 2 years at this point, and getting to see each other every day, they're gonna have to learn to adjust to the fact that they're gonna be long distance now. And they're watching other couples break up. They're not sure about the future. It feels very uncertain. But if there's one thing they know, it's the fact that they love each other and they'll make it through despite the odds. And so that's the story. And all I'll say is, guys, there's nothing more wholesome in this world than the way these two love each other. I'm so down bad for them. I love them so much. They're my kids. Okay, I just need to see them happy. So reading this book, yeah, obviously it had heavier topics, but then also them, battling it out for each other, especially at the last few scenes. I'm sorry, I had the best time ever. This is like another 4-star read. I don't know what I'm gonna do once the books are over. Like, how will my life go back to normal? How will I just not have more of this in my life? It just feels so weird. But I finished this one. Then I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have a couple of the other extra content sort of books downloaded in the series. And the last graphic novel, so the 6th one, actually came out recently. It came out like a week ago, and these other books were actually out longer than that, so I figured it makes sense to read them now in the middle before I go finally finish the 6th one. I'm trying to save that for myself, which is why I figured we read those. And so I read this novella called Nick and Charlie, and it also speaks about, again, the two of them, their relationship in the final days before he has to head out to uni. And they are now trying to like come to terms with the fact that they're going to be long distance and they don't know how to feel about it, but this kind of explores that. And the only thing is, it's not a graphic novel, it's like text, so you get their innermost thoughts in detail, which is fun. But I feel like this story, I enjoy it more in the form of those photos and stuff, the way it's drawn and the little leaves and the hearts and stuff. I find that more cute. Even though this was great, I feel like most of it was already covered in book 5. This one just goes a little more into depth, and while it was very necessary to the plot, and I'm happy I read it in this order because it makes sense before jumping into the 6th one, because the 6th one will actually show what happens. I'm not sure because I wasn't like the biggest fan of this one specifically, but at the same time it makes sense to the story, which is why 3.5 stars. At this point, I've just concluded that I'm a bigger fan of the graphic novels and stuff, and watching the two of them fall in love with that medium than the text at this point, because I'm more connected to that. But still, I came here for extra content. I got it, it delivered, and I'm happy with that. And the last book I ended up actually getting to is the Heartstopper Yearbook, because I figured now that next year is over in their school, I need to read the yearbook. And this one's not necessarily anything about that. It's just extra content about the books and the series from the author's POV. So you get like character profiles of each character, their likes and dislikes, extra facts about them, little pictures, and like a song that sort of relates to their personality. But you also get like mini details and facts about the actual series and the story as the author Alice Oseman was writing it, and put on it, which it was really fun to read about as well. Extra facts for anyone who's like a hardcore fan. And again, not a graphic novel, which is why it wasn't my favorite, but I did speed through this, and I did want to see where it was going. And frankly, I'll just eat up any content before I have to like jump into the 6th one, because I can't watch that get over for myself, which is why this is like 3.5 stars. But at this point, I still have 2 things left in the world that I will go read now, and I don't know how to feel about it, but this is going to be my final update before I go finish the series out, which is why I figured we'll just speak really quick before I go do that. But for now, I've got the mini comics, the one she published back in like a magazine back in the day. I think it's like only 40 pages I saw on Goodreads, so that's gonna suck because I'll be done with it in no time. And then after that, I have the final volume, which came out recently, and again, like I said, I don't know how to feel about that. How is life gonna continue without these two? Oh my god, I need to go back and reread. I'm already crashing out. But anyway, I'm gonna read the story, see where it goes, and yeah, that's about it for this update. In book 5 that I read, the first one in the update for this one and whatnot, they mentioned Paul Mescal, and I've been speaking about it with my friends, and that would have been my ideal beach read casting. So that was another thing rubbing in my wound, wherein it reminded me of like the beach read casting again. And that's another fun fact that no one really asked for, needed to know. But now I'm gonna go and finish the last one. I'm kind of postponing it, but at the same time I need to see it through. But like, what will it happen anyway after it's all done? Like, what will I read next? I don't know. I might just be in like a horrible slump after this, because it's gonna be over. But anyway, I will see what happens. I will go ahead and pick this up. See y'all in a bit once I have my updates. I'm definitely finishing this evening. No power can literally stop me at this point. I just need to see it through, and I'm gonna do that, and I'll see y'all in a bit once I have things to say. Wish me luck, pray for me, because I feel so weird right now knowing that I'm gonna be done with the series, and I'm just a little too emotionally connected to these fictional characters right now, but that's just the way life is. So I have in fact gone ahead and finished the Heartstopper series. I just don't know how to feel anymore because what do you mean it's over? I've just been in this state of denial the last couple of days, but I also needed time to like collect my final thoughts before I came in for like an update because the final book, let's just say the author outdid herself so hard. That story, I need time. I need time. And the video needs to go out tonight, which is why I'll speak about my update and then I'll just go get to editing and post it because what else am I supposed to do? But essentially, Alice Oseman, she needs a little standing ovation because that was just so incredible. But to catch you up before that, I did end up reading the mini comics, the ones I found online and whatnot, that I figured, okay, let's get along to that first because apparently it was published in like a magazine a few years ago and I need more content as much as I can get. If, you know, the author decides to write like 1,000 books in the series, I would 100% show up for every one of them, read them and have the best time because I love the character so much. But for this specifically, because I saw it was available and I figured, okay, I just want the content, I read it and it was like a bunch of short stories about Nick and Charlie, so nothing like too crazy and whatnot. It's just the graphic novels, but like a bunch of like different perspectives and stuff, one-off things that are going on, and I thought it was really sweet. A couple of them I found so cute and I had the best time reading. It's just, for me personally, I'm starting to realize I like these books more in the form of full-length graphic novels, not just like written words or like smaller comics, which is why not my favorite, but it was still good to read about, and 3.5 stars. And if you're a fan, you're still gonna eat this up because I finished it in like no time, and then I was spiraling about the fact that I had the last book left, and I also went ahead and finished that the very same day. And I cried so hard that I didn't want to come and show my face on camera because it was frankly embarrassing how connected I feel to these characters over the span of literally graphic novels. I don't get connected to characters that easy over novels which have like full-length words and stuff. And here I am sobbing for these people because there was this one scene towards the end in the final book. I don't know how the author did it. I don't know how she hit me so hard in the face with it. I still think about that, and it's only been a couple days, so obviously, yeah, but it hurt quite a bit, but also the full circle moment, like, I love it. And all in all to say, a great premise for this book, we essentially again follow Nick and Charlie as they're trying to navigate the fact that Nick is now confirmed heading off to uni and Charlie has to stay back, and so Charlie's kind of jumping into his own duties of his own life as head boy now, and Nick is trying to figure out his own uni plans and stuff, and they're trying to like figure out their lives obviously separate of each other, but also how they're gonna learn to manage to live without each other while Nick is gone, because they've been seeing each other like nearly every day for the past couple of years since they've been together, and now, you know, going from that proximity to like far off long distance is gonna be hard, but they'll make it work because they're Nick and Charlie, they're soulmates, they're meant to be together. And you know, it does come with its own set of challenges, but they navigate, and here you get more of like a background into Nick and the stuff he's going through, and I really appreciated that because the past few books we got it for Charlie, so you know, getting the context for him now as well, and getting to see that full circle moment of them both showing up for each other and both kind of realizing that they can be fully open to each other in this love, and you know, they'll still be there. Absolutely had the best time ever. This is like a 4.5 star easy. If I don't stop thinking about it, I might as well just bump it up to a 5 because I had so much fun reading this in a very emotionally painful way, but I still had such a great time kind of going along with the story, seeing where it goes. And the epilogue, guys, I can't believe it's over now. I'm actually trying to save the adaptation, which is why I haven't started at this point, but I'm thinking in a different video. Maybe next month I want to start watching that so I can start slowly savoring that content as well, because I don't want to be done with the world just yet. But yeah, with that, we have finished the series, and with that, this is also now the end of the vlog because I finished reading Heartstopper. I can start watching now, and it was the best experience of my life. And if you haven't done it already, please join in with me. Go rewind the video and read it with me as well, because it's just such an experience that you need to have at least once in your life, because it's just so worth it. And yeah, with that, yeah, we've reached the end of the vlog. If you guys did have a good time coming with me, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them. Now with that, I'll see you guys directly next week whenever next week's video comes out. Hopefully I'll have recovered from my Heartstopper. I wouldn't call it a slump because I still want to read, but the sort of like craving and ache I have in my heart for these characters. Maybe I'll just go reread, who knows. But I'll see y'all anyway next week for next week's reading vlog whenever it comes out very, very soon. And until then, take care, stay safe. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and recommend me more books similar to this because I need something to keep me going right now, or I might just fall in that slump again, who knows. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen. All good thoughts, all good things, all good prayers. And until then, now I'll see you all directly next week. So that's it, and bye bye.